Kendra here for another episode of Let's Talk. Of course, can't do this show alone, so I brought along my friends Jaguar Gator 9 and PJ-Roc to the show. And Colin, freaking fracking good Tuesday to you. Tom Grossi wins Fan of the Year. Let's get started with NFL honors. Were you surprised that Tom won that award?
Non-sliced bit. No, the amount of good work he's done for the community, the amount of people he's brought together. Once he went on that stadium tour and raised $500,000 for St. Jude's and all the charitable things he's done. Now, this was a culmination of years and years of hard work. I'm not even remotely surprised, and I'm so happy for him. No one deserves it more than he does, really.
Very cool. Any surprises out of NFL honors? I know you did a couple of snub videos last week. Um, Other than the snubs out of the Hall of Fame, what was your thoughts on the awards overall?
There's two really besides Hall of Fame that I was very confused with. Offensive Player of the Year, obviously no problem with McCaffrey winning. He deserved it. I don't know how Travis Etienne got a vote. I have no clue how Travis Etienne got a third place vote. That was the most backwards.
Must have been a Jags fan just saying, "Hey, I'm going to throw this out there."
He wasn't a top 3 running back, let alone a top 3 offensive player. I mean, someone said in their mind, okay, we're going to put McCaffrey as the best offensive player. Tyreek is number 2. We're going to say Etienne had a better season than CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Raheem Mostert, Lamar Jackson. Someone thought that. Someone actually thought that. And I'm like, what on earth are you thinking? The other one that didn't shock me, but I'm disappointed, the comeback player of the year. I don't get the logic.
Agree with you on that.
I don't get the logic employed.
Flacco flat out said he didn't want it.
Yeah.
And yet he still won it.
And he still won. I get that there's no set criteria for comeback player of the year. If you want to say that Hamlin didn't play a lot this season, that's your prerogative, I guess. That's if you want to say, okay, to win comeback player of the year, you have to come back from something and play well. I get that. There's no set criteria. What I don't get is people that had him second or third on the ballot. If you left him off the ballot entirely, I get it. But if you're putting him on the ballot, he's got to be first. If you put him on your ballot, you're saying, okay, he overcame death, he overcame adversity, and for that reason, he's comeback player of the year. I don't know how you say, okay, well, we're going to give him, I'm going to vote for him as second or third, but I'm not going to put him first. I don't get what set of criteria you're using. The other thing that made no sense with that is that John Mitchie got no votes. He came back from leukemia. He actually played. No votes. Calvin Ridley got a vote for coming back from a bad parlay. It's backwards. They need a set criteria because the award's a joke.
Yeah, and it seems like it's other than a handful of times, it's kind of the quarterback secondary award.
Yeah, and shouldn't be.
So,
I don't get how coming back from bad performance should mean comeback player of the year. But then again, the NFL doesn't have set criteria, so it's really 5 different awards bottled into one for no real reason.
Yeah. Hall of Fame snubs. I saw the Chargers player that you did a video on. Any others that you were surprised with?
Yeah, I was really Hall of Fame snubs, in terms of the final 5, I didn't have a problem with the final 5 at all. They're all deserving. Everyone that made the final 15 besides Ronnie Harrison is deserving. I was disappointed that Art Powell and Buddy Parker didn't get in because there are so many worthy candidates that we have lost throughout time. And there should be 3 senior guys getting in every single year. And the fact that the voters said, no, we're not going to take your recommendation, I thought that was shameful. I really thought that was shameful. And the fact that you had a guy from the 60s not get in who deserves it, and a guy from the 50s who didn't get in that deserves it, and all 5 guys that made it this year were 21st century guys. I don't think that I just don't think the committee is honoring the older players the way that they should. I mean, if the Hall of Fame says you belong in the Hall of Fame, the voters are like, no, it just doesn't make sense because there's so many guys that could have gone that spot besides Art Powell. If you didn't want to give it, Ken Anderson would have gone in for sure. Roger Craig would have gone in for sure. Lamar Parrish would have gone in for sure. And they're still waiting their turn. Mark Gastineau would have gone in for sure. They're all waiting their turn. And to not have the maximum number of guys get in when you could have done that, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. What do you think of Houston finally getting a Hall of Famer?
Besides Ed Reed, half season he played there. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm happy for Andre. He was a beast, absolute beast. I had a feeling he was Final 10 the last 2 years, so I had a feeling he was going to be the first one in the logjam to get through. The only thing
Right.
I'll say is that I thought Andre Johnson and Steve Smith had very similar careers, very good. I always pair the two of them together. I don't know how Steve Smith didn't make top 15 finalists, but Andre Johnson's in the Hall. I think they both deserve to be in. I just don't get how the committee sees one that much higher over the other. But Andre was a phenomenal player. I had a lot of respect for the Jaguars fans.
Andre played on a pretty bad Texans team too,
Yeah.
and to put up those kind of numbers in Houston at that time was a little harder.
Yeah, Steve Smith had Jimmy Clausen for a season though. So.
Number 80, right?
Yep.
So
other Texans you can see in the next few years.
I mean, JJ Watt's gonna be first ballot. JJ Watt will be first ballot. That'll be a 5-second discussion.
Right.
Other than him, in the next few years, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think there's anyone that I could see. Leckler has a shot, I guess, but punters usually take a while. I mean, Ray Guy is the greatest of all time, and he took 35 years or so to get in. So Leckler's going to wait a bit. But other than him, I don't think we're going to see any Texan for a while, besides JJ Watt.
Very cool. PJ, your thoughts on any of the NFL honors that surprised you?
As far as surprises, I wouldn't say that I was particularly surprised. I thought there was nobody that was going to unseat Lamar or to prevent Lamar from getting the MVP honors. He led the Ravens to an NFL best 13-4 record. Ranked in the top 10 this season in QBR, 64.7 yards per pass attempt. He's a phenomenal specimen, and very, very happy for Lamar. As you guys know, so much controversy with this contract, and are they going to pay him? Were they going to pay him? Was he going to end up in Baltimore? Is that where he was going to make his home? Very, very happy for Lamar. He choked at the end, but I completely agree with Christian McCaffrey as Offensive Player of the Year. The numbers don't lie. Myles Garrett. No, I didn't know much about the fan of the year. I'm learning that from you guys. Didn't really follow that piece of the action that much. CJ Stroud. No, I thought they pretty much got it right. The Defensive Rookie of the Year. Another Houston product there. I'm in agreement with all of it. Coach of the Year. I thought Kevin was very deserving, but I could have seen, I think there were at least 2 or 3 coaches that could have took home that honor. But I thought they got it right when you look at Cleveland's, where they came from.
Cleveland's quarterback situation kind of gave that to him, and I think Colin, you had called it too that he was going to win that award, right?
11-6.
Yeah, I think it was between Stefanski and Ryans, and I think the voters looked at that game they played on Christmas Eve, and I think that was the decider. It's funny because I thought I would have given it to Stefanski, I would have given it to Will Anderson, I would have given it to Myles Garrett, and I thought they were going to go Ryans, TJ Watt, and Carter, but I was like, I think that's how they're going to go, but I would give it to the other 3, and I think they got it right in that regard. I think the voters. The only one I don't agree with, I don't think Jim Schwartz should have won Assistant Coach of the Year, but other than that, I have no problem with any of the awards. So they got it pretty much right. Besides,
that was one that I don't pay enough attention to assistant coaches, so
me either. Yeah, but Colin does.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland became the first team since 1987. I did not think that this stat was ever going to be broken. The first team since 1987 to start 5 different quarterbacks. Is that crazy?
Yeah. In
It's
87, they
insane.
had to because of the strike. In 87,
Well,
they had to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah,
throw out the 2 strike years and yeah, no one's ever done it. It's unheard of what Cleveland did only because they had to. They literally pulled quarterbacks off the couch to play. So
Yeah. I think you
um,
can't say, like, if you have to say, okay, MVP's quarterback award, all these awards are quarterback award. This is a quarterback driven league, and a guy makes the playoffs and does that with 5 different quarterbacks. I mean, really 4. I mean, they'd have to play Driscoll the final game of the season. They have the spot locked up, and that's a testament to him. But
right.
the guy makes the playoffs and does that with 5 different quarterbacks on a team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs in the first place. Yeah, I think he deserved the award.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and if you wanted to, there is one award I think they should add, and that's a comeback team of the year. But there's so many variables with the team as a whole. But you got to say Houston was the team that came out of the dead to, do what they did. Brand new head coach and
Yeah.
rookie quarterback and all of that. No one expected Houston to do anything. I mean, I think I told Colin early in the season I'd be surprised if they won 5 games, and then they ended up winning the division,
Yeah.
much to his chagrin.
It wasn't Tennessee or anything. That's all I care about. Nothing
Yeah.
against Houston.
Yeah, we both have hatred towards Tennessee and the Colts. So, yeah.